the loss and a lot of news articles talking about disharmony. Tonight is the night for the 36ers to right the ship in front of a sold-out crowd and get the series going again. Game 2, Adelaide versus Sydney, with the championship on the line, and it starts now.
Welcome to Championship Series Game 2. Did you happen to see Game 1?
Championship basketball starts now.
It was a biblical beatdown. Sydney Kings punched Adelaide 36 in the face.
Davis with a statement early.
Well, that's a nice play. Oh my, what a catch. Galloway, outstanding timing.
It felt like 2016 with NBA champion Matthew Dellavedova putting the clamps on MVP Bryce Cotton.
Watch what Dellavedova is doing on Cotton, no matter where he is on the floor. Outstanding defense on Bryce.
And what about Torrey Craig? What a tone setter that man is. He wasn't even on the team at the start of the season. First quarter, he was dominant.
Oh my.
When you're hot, you're hot. 4-4 from the field. Torrey Craig putting on a show.
The Sixers, well, they forgot about Tim Suarez. 15 points in the second quarter. Are you kidding me?
Suarez, monsters on the offensive glass. He's exactly the man for this team.
By halftime, I was looking for my car keys. Game was over.
They are a long way back. A 20-point Kings lead at halftime.
And the MVP runner-up, Kendrick Davis, well, he was just getting started.
Davis gets busy and blows past Cheatham. Kendrick Davis has 17. He's quicker than a hiccup.
Kudos Bank Arena. The roof almost caved in. The joint was rocking. Sydney Kings handed the Adelaide 36ers the worst beatdown in the history of forever.
Game 2, Adelaide are at home, no excuses.
Bryce Cotton, the city of Adelaide needs you. All them churches are filled with people praying they see the six-time MVP go full Bryce mode.
But this is not a one-man team. Adelaide needs everyone against this powerful Sydney Kings lineup.
You do not want KD to walk out of there with a dub. So Flynn Cameron, Ice Humphries, Styling Cheatham, DJ, you guys need to lift.
Sydney take an enormous advantage in Game 1 of the Championship Series.
Game 2.
36ers and Kings. Let's get it.
For the first time since 2018, the NBL Championship Series comes to Adelaide, and we are glad you have joined a 40th straight sellout at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre for Game 2 in this best-of-5 series. These fans have enjoyed 14 wins and just 4 losses, and they'll be doing their best to make sure we are back here on Wednesday night for Game 4. Alongside the greatest of all time, Andrew Gaze, I'm John Casey. Great to have your company. Drewy, this is a big ask for the Adelaide 36ers to bounce back from 44.
Well, it certainly is, and whether there are any psychological scars, that remains to be seen, but history shows that it can be done, and I lived through it. I was on the other side. We won by 37 points in Game 1 in 1997, and then in Game 2 against the Brian Goorjian coach team, come out and lost by 6. And we were similarly on a 16-game win streak, so a lot of similarities. Adelaide, you've got to look at the entire body of work they've done over the season, and that's enough to say that they can be very competitive in this one here today.
And even more recently, just 2 years ago, Tassie lost by 23 in Game 1, bounced back to win Game 2 and the series. But if Adelaide are to bounce back, they need to try and put the clamps on Kendrick Davis.
Yeah, he's a star, but there's so many of them that the Sydney Kings in that Game 1, everyone got off. They shot the ball off the charts from the field and the three-point line. It's one of those ones, if you focus in on one, there's someone else that can hurt you. So it's got to be done collectively, and I think strategically how they pack the paint. You can't get beat inside and outside, and I think that protecting the paint is where it's got to start.
Oh, Kelsey Brown, we give them a chance, but Sydney, no doubt, hard to beat.
Absolutely, they are. John, it is a pleasure to be here tonight alongside you, Derek Rucker. But Adelaide 36ers, we know there's such thing as a bounce-back Bryce. Cast your mind back to round 4. He had 7 points against the Kings. He backed that game up with 2 games, one 28-point game, one 53-point game. That was his biggest score of the season, Derek.
Well, we know Bryce is one of the most outstanding talents we've ever seen in the NBL, and he has a special ability to come back strong based on his ability to adapt. He's a highly intelligent player. He's got all the skills, but he hasn't faced a defense like the Sydney Kings in a bounce-back opportunity. He must be the best player on the court tonight, Kelsey, if the Adelaide 36ers are to win this game.
Well, that's not a big call, Derek, but I love your work. Let's get over to our brilliant caller for this evening and welcome him in again. It's Jack Hebron.
Thank you so much, Kelsey Brown. A pleasure to be with everyone this evening. Hostile does not appropriately sum up what it feels like inside the Adelaide Entertainment Centre right now. But the Sydney Kings walk into this venue tall with a big 1-0 advantage as we take a look at their starting lineups. No change for what it looked like in game number 1. And for the Sydney Kings, confidence is a great thing. They'll go with the same starting lineup as well. All of the talk is about Adelaide and how they'll bounce back. And that seems just fine with the Sydney Kings. They're happy to go about their business.
Yeah, my word. And I think that it's no changes to the starting lineups, but if there is not a significant change in some of the game strategy of both ends of the floor by the Adelaide 36ers, this might be a very quick series.
Michael Aylan, James Gregool and Ken Arick in charge of game number 2. And it's the 36ers in possession, Derek Rucker. The first 2 minutes in this game is huge for Adelaide.
Essential, and already you see them move Bryce Cotton off the ball. Flynn Cameron initiate the offense. Big first possession here for the Sixers.
It's been a struggle in the playoffs for Flynn Cameron. He draws an early foul on Xavier Cooks. The most improved player in the NBL this season, Flynn Cameron, across the playoffs. It's been really hard-working. 0 of 18 from 3 in his last 5.
It actually started in the later rounds of the regular season, Andrew, where he just looked like he lost a little bit of confidence, but I like how they've gone to him right here, and this is the best way to get yourself going is by knocking down a free throw early.
Spot on, yeah, absolutely. To see the ball go through the hoop, get the scoreboard ticking over individually, that's much needed. And you can almost hear a pin drop as you're taking a free throw. And I think the way the game is going to be officiated is a big, big part of it as well.
What are you expecting?
Well, if the Sydney Kings, they like it really physical. If it's called tight, and that's probably not in their favour, but it didn't matter how the game was called in game 1. They were going to win that game.
Humphrey stalked Galloway to the basket, but then Sydney get it back. Suarez, the man who destroyed Adelaide in game 1, strikes again.
And he roars after he knocks down that 3-ball. Adelaide unable to come up with the defensive rebound. And Andrew, they switched every screen on that first defensive possession, did the Sixers.
Dellavedova gets it out of the hands of Cotton. An early win for him and then an early foul for Cameron. So Matthew Dellavedova picks up from exactly where he left off last Saturday.
Well, you need to watch him, even when he's nowhere near the ball. He is 100% just wearing Bryce Cotton everywhere he goes. So they're effectively playing 4-on-4.
Boos for Kendrick Davis, who spent last season with Adelaide. It was far from mutual uncoupling, and there's a settling basket for him.
His mid-range game is so tough. Does a good job there as Galloway fouls Cameron as he's advancing the ball up the floor.
Well, Cameron, did you see when Galloway just stumbled? He looked at him and gave him a bit of a smirk and a smile. And I just think that the 36ers got to stay away from all that stuff until they get themselves going.
Vasiljevic from a long way out.
Nice action there. They love that guard-to-guard screen. Not bad defense, but with the smaller Davis on him, Vasiljevic just raises up and knocks down that 3.
Barely fired a shot in game 1. He's fired plenty during the week, but that'll be good for his confidence. 5 apiece. Early stages of game 2. Cooks rolls, and Humphrey's got another one. There was some body in there too. And I think he can consider himself a little unlucky here, Isaac Humphreys.
I like the fact that they're just attacking. We look at the Amy replay, and that's the penalty if you don't get that third-man rotation, because it was like a ghost screen, and they double Bryce, and that's where that wing guy, and where they've done such a great job, the Sydney Kings, of taking away the first pass. And to me, the thing about this one, if you're making some adjustment, the skip pass is something that would be effective based on what we saw in game 1. And Xavier Cooks, who's giving up burgers already, but they get the O boards.
Burgers in the first 2 minutes. The code word is snatch. Dellavedova muscles in on Cotton and straight away turns his back and mans him up.
Strong move there by Dellavedova. Nice touch off the glass. And already, Jack, 4 fouls have been blown in 2 minutes.
We spoke about that a lot last Saturday with Matthew Dellavedova. His main task is defending Cotton. If he can score at the other end, his value increases even further as Vasiljevic travels.
Right here, they got to stay aggressive, Andrew. They can't pull off 3 turnovers already to the Sixers.
Achilles heel for them in game 1. Galloway, easy basket.
And that's exactly what I was talking about before the start of the game, where in game 1 they were lights out from the three-point line, so that was a problem as well. But think of where's your priority going to be in those easy buckets around the rim. That's just way too easy.
Cameron from long range. A settler for him. Adelaide back within 1. But Sydney try and explore early and aggressively in their offense. Dellavedova on the offensive glass, making Cotton work at the other end. Blocked by Humphries.
That's what's going to happen, and they're going to make Bryce work at both ends of the floor. When Delly gets it, you look at him, his help's coming, and that time it was from behind with Humphries, and surprisingly to me, Humphries is the first guy subbed out after 3 minutes. He's been effective.
Xavier Cooks
And that
upstairs with the jam.
And that might be the consequence of it. You know, Humphries was attacking it, going at it. Now, Rakocevic had to find last half of the season, but they do provide different skill sets.
And the very next play, an easy jam for the Sydney Kings. Vasiljevic puts the ball on the floor.
And I agree, because I thought Humphries was doing a good job of protecting the rim. He was getting his hands on a lot of shots. Now Rakocevic has got to pick up the slack as Davis gets booed.
Continue to make Dellavedova a priority and making Cotton work at the defensive end.
Yeah, if you're an offensive guy, the way that Brian Gorge is working this, you want to hope that Bryce Cotton's on you, because you've got the ultimate green light to make something happen. And Delly's making him work.
Found a little bit of space and got a mismatch. They get the ball out of his hands. Zylan Cheatham with his feet set ties it up at 13.
And that's been one of their weaknesses. Sometimes the Sixers on the offensive end have 2 guys that aren't a three-point threat. Cheatham knocks one down early, and we'll have a foul on the other end on Cameron. Davis will go to the line and shoot 3.
Just out of position. And the contact was made on the shot. It was a correct call. But it's a game changer for the Adelaide 36ers if they can knock down the 3-ball. And they've started off exactly how they'd like, perfect 3 of 3 from the three-point line, because it does become a whole lot harder to put that type of pressure on Bryce when you're running hot from the three-point line.
And both teams are executing extremely well. Adelaide 4 of 4 from the field, Sydney 6 of 9. The only thing that's hurt the Sixers are those 3 early turnovers, as Dellavedova and Cooks both get an early break. And that means Malawatch will take the assignment now on Cotton.
What about the bodies that Brian Gorge can control at Adelaide here? 3 substitutions, Malawatch, Craig, and Kawatnoy into the game. There is just no rest for Adelaide at any stage.
True, but if I'm Bryce Cotton, I'm glad to see Delly's on the bench right now, because he was in that lockdown mode. And Malawatch can do a great job at a new body, and another turnover to Bryce Cotton.
Davis pulls up in transition. That wasn't the shot. Some early frustration from Bryce Cotton. You can see the facial expressions. He knows it's hard work out here. Suarez for a foul.
Good call there. I thought DJ passed up a good look after the first shot fake. But they're lucky with Rakocevic doing a good job with his effort on the old glass. He draws a foul. Sixers retain possession.
Adelaide were 9 of 37 from long range in game one. So far, things have been a little better. 3 of 4 to start the game. Cotton with the left hand, takes the bump and scores.
Rakocevic does a good job of twisting that screen and changing the angle. Opened up the possibilities for that drive. He's tough. Championship pedigree, he's experienced.
And the body control. The spin move for a big fella. He spreads the floor with the 3 ball. This is a tough cover. Pretty good job in the boards in game 1 as well. 8 boards.
Kings lead the series 1-0. They lead this game by 3. That is nothing but South Australian oxygen. Torrey Craig at the other end shows them exactly how it's done.
Shooting the ball with such confidence. Andrew, he pulled up right in front of us, and I never thought that ball was going to do anything other than go right through the hoop as Cheatham gets it done on the other end.
He was one that you called for, Derek, during the week, be more aggressive, Silent Cheatham. Is that more of what you're looking for?
Yeah, well, without a doubt, because he's such a great athlete and his skill set matches it, and I think he often penalizes his own team by not looking to score the basketball.
No, he does. He doesn't always get a lot of looks, though. He's a pick and roll threat. He's around the rim, of course, and excellent playing alongside Bryce with dribble handoffs. He's got to perhaps change the mindset a little bit and think more about scoring. That'll help Bryce as well.
3 free throws coming for the 6-time MVP.
Well, Suarez fell asleep as Cotton used that screen, and he was caught deep, and that allowed Cotton to get into space, draw the foul, shoot 3.
Bryce Cotton's stats, a thing of beauty this season, averaging 25.5 points a game, 7.5 assists, 3.5 rebounds, nearly 2 steals a game. All of those numbers and a whole lot more available on the NBL app. You've got the latest news, the podcasts, the competitions. You can spend half your day on the NBL app.
And right now, I'm concerned if I'm Matthew Dellavedova, because he completely locked Bryce up. They make the sub, and I'm sure Brian Goorjian just feels that he's got to rotate guys, give different looks, but we'd be thinking, go back out there. That is a hell of a lot tougher to guard him now. He's got 5 points on the board than it does when I left the game when he had 0.
Tim Suarez sits down Hunter Goodrick in for first quarter minutes. Davis in the mid-range, loves it there, can't score that time around. Big rebound by Xavier Cooks. Goodrick gets after it. And it took Nick Rakocevic to drag that ball down. Cotton can't score. Jenkins in his happy place, tucked away in the corner.
Welcome to the championship series, John Jenkins. Finally gets one meaningful one to go, Andrew, and comes back with good defense on the other end.
They've scored 8 in a row here, Adelaide, and for the first time tonight, they've got momentum. Jenkins short, Rakocevic read it off the rim.
Good response here, but Davis is right back at the Sixers. Unsure which way this ball should go, and the referees decide it's a jump ball, but Rakocevic with good hustle, and Jenkins knocks down the corner 3. And then on the other end, Rakocevic is on the other end and does a great job offensive rebounding, Andrew.
He does, and that's what he's good at. But that was actually a change of possessions. The officials didn't know which way it was, so they called it a jump ball.
Craig from deep. That's good.
You just can't let him catch and shoot like that. You're better off running at him. He blows by you. Rely on help. And when his feet set, he's proven to be too efficient with that type of shot.
44% for the season. He shoots it at Torrey Craig. What a pickup he's been for the Sydney Kings. Rakocevic can't score. We tick down to 2 minutes remaining in this first quarter.
Wow. That's it's a surprise. It's the official on the other side of the floor that's called a hands foul.
There would be a serious case for a review here. I'm the one that you asked about.
He just lost it.
He lost the basketball.
He lost the ball, and you're right. Mike Wells has decided to use the challenge.
Well, Mike Wells had the advantage inside the Adelaide Entertainment Centre of a quick replay on the big screen here. The replay was up just as quick as his video staff had it going, and he saw everything that he needed to see.
And a subtle little play by Rakocevic, because once the foul was called, Rakocevic dribbled the ball all the way to the other end, and I think Andrew Bogut may be pointing that out to referee Ken Arick right now. But that bought Adelaide's coaching staff some time to review this play to see if they should challenge it.
No, it's a smart play, and I don't know whether he intentionally meant it. I think he was just upset that it was a call, but also it was like I said, it was the official on the other side that made the call. And in this playoffs atmosphere, usually, now he just lost the ball. There is no foul. If this does not get overruled,
what? What's he going to do?
Well,
go on, make a bold claim.
Well, there need to be some sort of inquiry. Nothing. There's every angle. Ruck, have you seen anything that resembles a foul?
That looks clean, and there we are. The green check. Coach's challenge is successful.
Good challenge by Mike Wells. Adelaide retain theirs. It'll be a jump ball. 2 minutes and 13 seconds before quarter time. Bryce Cotton has 5, Flynn Cameron 5, Vasiljevic and Cheatham with 5 as well for Adelaide. It's that support staff, Derek, that the boys were talking about in the pregame.
And I like the balance, the way the ball has moved through the Sixers' hands. I think offensively they look a lot sharper. Obviously, the scoring has been better. They've got 25 already.
Kelsey, you were listening to Mike Wells.
I was. It was a fired-up Adelaide 36ers unit in there. They are happy with how they've started. It was all about staying disciplined on the defensive end, staying out of hands trouble and making them shoot over the top of Nick Rakocevic. John Casey, what did you hear in Sydney?
King's huddle there. Brian Goorjian let his players talk it through. Delhi had a lot to say. So too did Kendrick. Xavier Cook's brought into it. Even Tyler Robertson had a say before Gorge had his bit. And it was all about rebounding for the Kings. He wants them to crash the boards.
That was their positive case, wasn't it, in game one? Plus 19 in the rebound count, Sydney.
They were plus in every category in game one.
Different kettle of fish so far tonight.
And we should also point out, because we discussed it so much in game one, Andrew, is the double big lineup. Now, Adelaide have employed it for the past 90 seconds or so. We only saw it for 9 seconds in game one. So Wells has clearly made it a point to test this lineup early, and it looks like it's working well so far.
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah, I do. I think with so many double teams that any sort of ball movement, you can get the bigs down low. Rakocevic has shown that he can knock down the 3-ball as well.
Such a beautiful athlete, Xavier Cooks, and he puts Sydney back in front.
He's tough. He catches that ball above the free throw line, and so many types of moves, and you know he's going to get into his spin game, and a great finisher with either hand.
Just settled now, the Kings. And allowed Adelaide to score 10 unanswered points. Jenkins, second time around.
He's getting looks.
It's Isaac White's turn. 3 premium looks for Adelaide.
No, 3 of 3. They've been 1 of 7 in their last 7 3-point field goal attempts. Is Torrey Craig. He just looks so smooth in every aspect of the game.
He's providing a dimension that I'm not sure the Sixers can match up with. Blow by.
Offensive foul against Cotton. 11. And this will be 2 in the first quarter, which you don't say often about the 6-time MVP.
Well, he did the right thing. Beat Dellavedova with pace, but then he makes a mistake of elevating, and Cooks is right there to take that charge.
Yeah, and the answer to that is just stay on your feet. The pass was always going to be there, and perhaps looking some elevation to get over the defense with the pass. And Price gets called for another foul, and it's also his third turnover in the contest. 2 fouls, 3 turnovers. Oh my, that's just too easy.
Now, right now, they're going to have to get Cotton off of Dellavedova. But then that means he'll have to guard Davis.
Yeah, or put him on Kenyon. Just put him on Kenyon, who's not a threat. With Davis you're talking about.
So Cotton right now is guarding Dellavedova, but they've got to find a matchup.
Yeah, okay, down that end of the floor. Yeah, gotcha.
I prefer that, well, now they're going to pull him out, but I would prefer that you let him guard Davis and just do your best, shoot over his hand. But the Dellavedova pound in the paint is punishing them in this first quarter.
Yeah, but I think it's their target no matter who they have on them. They're going to go at him.
Shot clock switched off. Kendrick Davis is 1 of 5 in the first quarter. The double comes. 3 seconds for Cooks. They make a mess of it, the Kings. But importantly, they will lead at quarter time in a hostile environment. Sydney 30, Adelaide 25, and it's the Kings with a 1-game advantage in the championship series so far. And they have started well tonight. Dellavedova and Cooks combining. It's the Kings by 5, game 2 in the championship series.
Game 2 of the championship series here in Adelaide. The Sydney Kings have come out firing again, but it was a better start for the Adelaide 36ers. They trail it by 5 at quarter time. Flynn Cameron started well, but it's foul troubles for the backcourt of the Adelaide 36ers. Bryce Cotton and Flynn Cameron both with 2, but Flynn Cameron did drop his first 3 in 18 attempts in his last finals campaign. John Casey, what did the Sydney Kings have to say?
Yeah, Brian Goorjian said, stay with it. What we're doing is working. 14 points in the paint at the moment to 8. They like what's happening there. And they're also very happy with the way that they're able to break down 36ers D at the moment.
They are just slowly but surely picking Adelaide apart again. It looks like game 1 all over again.
Yeah, they had 18 field goal attempts in that first quarter, 12 of them from three-point line. So they came out with that strategy to try and let it fly. It looked good early on, but then we're now at 4 of 12 from the three-point line.
36ers have got to really hang on tight here, don't they?
They do, and if they just think they can blaze away and beat them from the three-point line, I think you've got to find a balance.
They should be shooting free throws. Two-time champion with the Sydney
Brian
Kings.
Goorjian.
This is an immediate challenge from the Sydney Kings. Brian Goorjian didn't even wait for the video.
No, he did. And his video guy was extraordinarily confident. Yes, that challenge.
If the video guy turned that play around that quick, he should work for NASA.
That was a quick turnaround, but he was confident as he goes over, and I'm just watching him now go through the reviews, and he may not be as confident anymore.
Now he's got the shadow of Andrew Bogut leaning over him saying, "Are you sure?"
Yeah, from this angle, you see the penetration, and I like the penetration.
No, that's a foul.
Yeah, that angle doesn't look good for Suarez.
Well, he slides over and creates the contact.
Yeah.
This is going to be unsuccessful without a doubt.
That is an unsuccessful coach's challenge. Kelsey.
Well, that was exactly what Mike Wells asked for out of that quarter-time break as well. He asked for DJ and the other guards to get their feet in the paint. So DJ's listened to his coach, done exactly that, and he comes up trumps with this foul.
Well, the body language here with the Sydney Kings, I mean, they're professional, they'll move on and get themselves ready for the next play, but it may have been slightly premature, that challenge.
It's a bad challenge. It's so early in the game, and those charge block ones, unless you are 100% sure. Now, I watched the video guy, and he seemed really strong. In the front-on angle, maybe that didn't tell the full picture. But this is a real crucial couple of minutes. It's early in the game, start of the second, but the way they finished that first quarter, the Adelaide 36ers, and with some of the foul issues they've got, particularly with Bryce, this period is going to be a telling period.
Well, especially the next 3 or 4 minutes. And they've shown the capability to hang with the Kings in that first quarter. But this is a team just loaded with firepower, and Kendrick Davis hasn't even gotten himself going yet.
There's a bit of a change. They've gone into a zone defense. We never saw any of that in game one.
And I like it. You have to change the diet defensively and show Sydney something different.
Children makes a mistake.
Well, the zone is predicated, I think, mainly because of Bryce's foul trouble. They're trying to find a way to hide him on the defensive end because they're going at him.
It's been the story of the game so far. Every time Adelaide make a little run at Sydney, the Kings are able to settle and answer back quickly. Cooks picks up his second. So 2 for Cooks, 2 for Kawhi.
Now, the style of officiating is suiting Adelaide. It's been a pretty quick whistle thus far. And the only problem is they can't afford that whistle to go against them.
And when we're talking about the physicality, it's not so much with the call that you saw then on the shooter. It's more with what sort of contact are they allowing on the cutters? How are you allowed to fight over screens? That's more that's going to have an impact on the style of officiating or the tolerance levels of the officials on the contact. And they're being a perfect 9 of 9. Adelaide getting to the free throw line already 9 times.
That's the voice of Andrew Gaze. Derek Rucker sits alongside him. John Casey, Kelsey Brown courtside, Felix von Hoff, Leonard Copeland. And Pete Hooley will be back to break it all down at halftime from the Adelaide Entertainment Centre, where it's all on the line here. Game 2 of the championship series. Vasiljevic in rhythm.
Oh my, that was way short. What is he? That is very uncharacteristic for TJ Vasiljevic to miss it that bad. Have a look at the O boards down there below. Kings, owning the glass at the moment.
He's such a sharpshooter, TJ Vasiljevic. He's had a couple of bad misses in this game so far. Cotton reaching in, almost picked up his third. Torrey Craig is a big factor in this game.
Now you've got to stay connected. He's 4 of 6 from the field, 3 of 4 from deep. You can't help off of him now.
11 points for Torrey Craig in all of their playoffs. He's been the one that sets the tone in the first half.
Correct. And he understands what his scoring does for the team's confidence and the impact on how they play throughout the game as Davis gets to work.
Suarez capable of a three ball of his own. This is out, Dellavedova has got a hand in, and then Craig was right place, right time. Just to back that Torrey Craig stat up from before, Derek, in the 3 playoff games that Sydney have played leading into tonight, 26 of Torrey Craig's 43 playoff points have come in the first half. So he's getting the majority of his work done early in the game.
That's significant. And in fairness, that after half-time in game 1, it was really just
Feet up.
all that relevant because they had such a large margin. And he's got to do a lot of heavy lifting on the defensive end, Torrey Craig, as well.
Cameron's already hit one. Make that 2.
That was a slow closeout by Torrey Craig.
Back now within one. The 36ers. Humphries and Rakocevic swarm Davis.
Kendrick looking for the foul. It didn't look like there was one there, maybe low, but up top, Andrew, it looked clean.
No, that's a block. Clean block. Davis is looking a little frustrated.
Yeah.
2 of 9. Starting to push it a little bit more than you normally would. 2 of 10 make that.
This is a bit of a watch for Kendrick Davis, who's been so cool, calm and collected through the playoff series, but looks a little flustered.
And Jack, Andrew and I spoke before the game. The road to the championship is not one that's just filled without any hurdles or obstacles. You will be challenged collectively as a team and as an individual star player.
25.7 assists in game 1. Sydney barely beat the 5 count. Davis with another tough look. It's just not happening for him.
That's just a really poor shot for him. When you're 2 of 10 and you force it like that, and down the other end, without Delly out there, Bryce gets into attack mode.
They got numbers and a mismatch.
Just gave it up this time. Watch Malawatch, who's had himself a wonderful playoff series. Kicks to Kawhi Noy.
Kawhi's in a funk.
He is. He just cannot find the accuracy, Drew.
Yeah.
That's a foul.
And one.
Cotton starting to find space out on the floor without Dellavedova on the court. He missed an easy attempt at the rim the last possession, and then this time, as we see the Amy replay, does a good job of setting Malawatch up, gets through his legs, and then the quickness and the skills take over.
Well, the question I was about to ask you is about the answer, Andrew Gaze. How long are you leaving Matthew Dellavedova off the floor? Because Bryce Cotton looks like a different player when Delly's not out there.
Yeah, it is, and you saw on that Amy replay, and as you're watching it, you can see the Sydney Kings that they've decided to take Cotton's left hand away from him. They're trying to force him right, and that time he was overplaying the left, but he was able to get back that way.
8 points on 2 of 6 for Cotton. Adelaide with a 2-point lead. He and Flynn Cameron have 8. Vasiljevic, not on the floor at the moment, has 9. Torrey Craig, Sydney's leading scorer with 11. Cotton got one back on Dellavedova. There didn't seem a great deal in that.
Dellavedova went to a spin move. Cotton rotated over, forced a turnover. Then when the ball was loose, there was an interaction and exchange between the two.
But a couple of risky defensive plays by Bryce Cotton, where he's putting himself in danger of a call going against him.
Beautiful pass. Cheatham with the jam. Adelaide's biggest lead of the night so far.
Excellent body control by Cotton. Gets through that gap by turning his hips. Dellavedova on the move.
The scoring's dried up for the Sydney Kings. And that's a let-off. Only have 7 points in the first 5.5 minutes of the second quarter. That's a win for the Adelaide 36ers.
They've scored 10 of the last 12 points in the game, Adelaide. This sold-out crowd starting to feed off it. Late shot clock for Cameron. Rakocevic Rakocevic on the offensive glass scores.
Great timing. Flexes on Suarez. Right now, there's a little energy in the building, Drew, that may have the Kings just a little bit rattled for the first time in this series.
There's a lot of energy in the building.
My apologies.
Normally you oversell things, Derek.
Wow.
You undersold that one. Noy down the middle. Cheatham in the open floor for Jenkins. Watches Dellavedova fly by.
And this place absolutely erupts. John Jenkins knocks down a transition three. Huge sigh of relief. 36ers faithful. Go nuts, Drew.
No, and these are the looks. We saw the one in the corner early on. When he's set and he's stationary, he's as good as there is in the country from the three-point line. Hasn't been as effective coming off pin downs and moving. And you can see the fans, they're engaged.
It's the most emotion we've seen from John Jenkins at any stage since he arrived here in the NBL. It's been a struggle during the playoffs. He's scoring, Adelaide is scoring, and on Game 3 on Sunday, are we headed to Sydney with this thing squared at one apiece?
Well, Mike Wells couldn't have scripted a better start. They're up 7, 3:51 left in the second quarter, and I just like the composure combined with the energy and execution that the Adelaide 36ers have shown. They've done a good job on the defensive end in disrupting the rhythm of the Sydney Kings, in particular Kendrick Davis, who was 2 of 11.
Well, the Sydney Kings were lights out in Game 1 from the three-point line. A phenomenal three-point field goal shooting effort at 54%. That is just outrageous in a grand final series. And they've had their problems. They're 4 of 15 in this one here with some decent looks.
They've gone from 6 up to 7 down. Kelsey Brown's been listening in.
Well, I think almost everyone coming into this game thought that the Sixers wouldn't win it off the back of their defensive effort. All in that timeout was about their defensive effort, how happy they are with the intent that they're showing at the moment, and the effort that they're doing on Kendrick Davis. Every single player went to Zylan Cheatham for what he's bringing at the moment. John Casey, the Sydney Kings.
Yeah, look, they are rattled. That huddle's a whole lot different from the first one that we went into, and you're right, the commentators are spot on. There was a lot of confusion, a lot of finger pointing about who was actually doing what, and 19 points to 9 in this quarter tells you the difference.
Foul there on Torrey Craig. And that will send the 36ers to the free throw line, and Brian Goorjian for decades has preached, do not foul and get the other team in the bonus.
Well, in Game 1, Derek, Adelaide 36ers only had 6 free throws. 5 of 6, and they've already had 10. This is free throw 11 and 12, and they're 100% from the free throw line.
And Jack, keep in mind, for those that did not see Game 1, the Sixers only scored 68 points in total.
I think they have been well aware of that since Saturday. They've had to marinate on it for a few days. The biggest loss in playoffs basketball in their proud history. Anything that could have gone wrong for Adelaide in Game 1 did. It's a far better showing. But the Kings have won 14 in a row. Craig steps out of bounds, and they're a little disjointed right now, the Kings.
Well, that should also have been a delay of game call, Andrew, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it is. They were subbing at the time, so that may have given Torrey Craig an out of why they didn't call a delay of game.
Dellavedova back. His defensive assignment, guarding the league's best player, Rakocevic. Trying to force it over the top of Humphries. Good D. Sydney get the ball back.
Ran a simple cross-screen action to isolate Rakocevic on Cooks on the block. Cooks did a decent job.
Well, Sydney made the change. They've gone small now. They've got one of their small lineups on the floor. With Cooks really playing the 5. And Galloway in the 4.
Kendrick was lucky there. Got himself into trouble, almost turned it over.
Cotton has Cheatham. Extra pass to Rakocevic. Cooks again. Just did enough defensively. And that might be looked at.
Blue 34.
They claimed he made a play at the ball, but that was going to be a layup.
No one envies DJ Vasiljevic in that situation. Kendrick Davis coming at him full speed.
Miscommunication. Cotton for three. Misses. O-board Rakocevic. Here's Jenkins. Run off the line by Davis. And another foul called on the Sydney Kings.
It's on Kendrick Davis.
And a late whistle there by Ken Eric.
A real late whistle, wasn't it?
11 fouls to 6 in the game. The 36ers back on the line.
Yeah, we spoke about it, and this is a lot of free throws.
12 of 13 from the stripe, Adelaide, and taking their opportunities from here. They are the best free throw shooting team in the NBL across the regular season. And it's paying dividends for them right now. 47-41. 2 minutes and 10 seconds before the main break. Felix, Pete and coach will be back with the halftime show very, very shortly. Boisterous Adelaide Entertainment Centre crowd have got plenty to cheer about right now. Craig pulls the trigger.
Incredible.
Again, though, Derek, he doesn't have to dribble the ball. That you get up and in and make him put it to the floor and see if he can make those ones off the bounce.
Now Cooks downhill for Dellavedova. Extra one for Cooks. How quickly it can change.
Great transition basketball by the Sydney Kings. They don't mess around. One of the best push forwards in the competition. Look at that pass from Cooks. Delly rewards him by getting it back. Cooks has got 3 dunks already.
Sydney led by 6. And in the blink of an eye, the Sydney Kings have got it back to a 1-point game. 1:36 before halftime, and we've been telling you all playoff series about the wonderful work that Bunnings have done all season long. The Bunnings Backing Ballers program is tapping in at the grassroots. The young boys and girls that we're seeing on screen, who knows? We might be calling them one day in the NBL or the WNBL. Maybe not you two, you might be gone by then, but for the rest of us, we might get the chance to call them one day. But isn't it great to see?
A great initiative, and we love it. And anytime you can bring smiles like that to these young athletes' faces, you know you've done something right.
No, it's a beautiful thing. It's where it all begins. For a lot of these kids, they get inspired meeting their heroes.
Sorry, you'll both be here. You'll live forever, Drew.
Well, we might not be as mobile as we once were. No.
That's okay.
But you're right in far as how quickly things can turn. And
So take us into the Adelaide mindset here. They do all this good work. They get to a 6-point lead, and in 2.5 quick possessions, it's a 1-point game. What does that do if you're Adelaide?
Well, I think it highlights that you've got to be real selective about your shot selection and how you take care of the ball, because you're playing against a team that, probably along with the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, were the most explosive in transition. And they've got athletes all over the place that can run the floor. With this lineup in particular, the smaller lineup they go with.
Important possession here for the home team. Flynn Cameron's played with a lot more confidence tonight.
But they've missed 3 or 4 opportunities around the basket off of decent offensive possessions.
I respect for Davis, because he was in a funk. Really struggling, and he makes a tough 2, and he backs it up with an on-ball 3.
Hand off for Cotton. High degree of difficulty, but nothing phases Bryce Cotton.
Really good ball movement between Cheatham and Rakocevic, freeing Cotton up for a tough 3. Turnover, Kings.
Cheatham for Cotton. Blocked by Craig. Huge defensive play by Sydney.
Yeah, Bryce just needed to slow down. He wasn't aware that Torrey Craig had his rhythm, had his steps, and that's an easy block, but Torrey read it well.
This is some sort of first half from Torrey Craig. 14 points on 5 of 7 shooting, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks now. He's a +7 in the game. Here he is again. He's on fire.
He heard you talking about him, Jack. He said, keep my name in your mouth. 3-ball, Craig. Kings up 2. What a half.
They've done so much good work, Adelaide. Stopping Davis, stopping Cooks, and then Craig with a first half performance to change the game. Vasiljevic in response. Big hit.
That a foul to give. That's a smart play by DJ Vasiljevic.
Behavior warning. Behavior on Cooks.
34. Hold. Backcourt.
I think Xavier Cook's on the bench again, asking for an unsportsmanlike, and perhaps did it in not all that polite way.
Well, what we've seen in the postseason is there's a greater margin for the unsportsmanlike foul.
Correct.
They've loosened it up, Drew, which is good in my opinion.
Yes.
3 seconds remaining on the clock. Pass goes over the head of Dellavedova. Rakocevic from halfway. The 36ers lead by 1. They had to be in front at halftime. And although it's 1 point, they'll take it.
A great bounce back in response from the 36ers in this first half. But we know the firepower of the Kings. Man, we're looking forward to a tough second half.
Let's get over to Kelsey.
Yeah, I'm here with DJ Vasiljevic. DJ down 20 at the half in the first game, but you've turned it around in this one, up by a point. What has impressed you the most out of this first half?
Energy. We've come out ready to play. Obviously, that first game we don't talk about anymore. It's desperation time. Everyone's playing some really good basketball right now.
What are you going to do about Torrey Craig in the second half, though?
Oh, hopefully make him a driver because he's just shooting threes at will. And, you know, we'll make their life difficult. He's such a good player. He's going to make tough shots, so we live with it.
Thanks for your time.
No, thanks, Phil.
Well, 53 plays 52. The 36ers lead the Kings by 1 point at the major break. We've got so much coming up for you. Felix, Pete and Leonard to break down the Hungry Jacks halftime highlights. You're watching the Hungry Jacks NBL.
What's good, Adelaide? The Adelaide Entertainment Centre is alive and well because the Adelaide 36ers are bringing a very, very different game than what we saw in game one. You see Jenkins from the outside, everything they needed starting to click, but the power of the Sydney Kings, they still only lead by one. And boy, was that a good punch that they threw in the first half.
Well, it was, and credit to the Adelaide 36ers. We expected something to change. Their supporting cast has been great. They've got to clean up the rebounds. They've given up 13 offensive rebounds. That's way too many. But for Sixers fans out there, they were never going to blow out the Kings. If they're going to win, they're going to do it just. Really strong first half. Another big 20 minutes to come.
Let me say this, fellas. We got a game. We got a game here. And the good thing is, Bryce Cotton has some help. Cameron, Cheatham, these guys, Jenkins, they're all coming to play. They got more points in the half today than they had in the whole game last game.
And we're going to touch on them in just a moment, but first, the Hungry Jacks highlights, none other. You've been loving it on the sidelines because you wanted this guy back when you were assistant coach to the Kings, and they told you he wasn't big enough. Corey Craig is bringing a heat in game two.
I begged for him. This guy's been going to work, and you can tell he's got that experience now. He's been to the NBA. Turn around, he's knocking down jump shots, he's rebounding the ball.
Pete, there is a very real chance that Torrey Craig, if given a full season, is the best player on the Kings roster.
He's unbelievable. And again, someone told me, a couple of people in Sydney last Saturday, Torrey's been chilling since he got here, and now we see a different mindset from him. He's ready to. He's built for this moment, and I'm really, really thrilled to see him go and do it. What the Adelaide 36ers have to do is crawl up and in. He's 5 of 6 from 3.
Well, we look at his Blackmores player profile here, and DJ said to Kelsey Brown on the way out, you got to turn him into a driver. But I got bad news for you. He could go to the rack as well.
No disrespect to the guys here. He's been playing against a lot better talent in the NBA and doing quite well. And it shows. His experience shows. The way he shoots the ball and the confidence that he has, the rebounds, he's a special player.
Leonard, you mentioned the supporting cast of the Adelaide 36ers. When we look up at that scoreboard, you'd probably think Bryce Cotton's had a massive half. He's been incredibly serviceable. He's worked hard for his points, but it's the guys around him that have stepped up.
We've been begging for it, too. We want Cheatham to shoot the ball, be aggressive.
Flynn Cameron.
And Cameron. And Jenkins has knocked down a couple of threes. His confidence is sky high. If they can continue to play like that, they're going to be in this series.
And they've left a few on the table as well. There was a possession with 3 offensive rebounds. Clank, clank, clank. It could be a very different ballgame. And if I know anything, I know something about that in this arena. So I felt at home when I was saying, hey, Pete, we said that Adelaide to stay in this game, they've got to junk it up. They've got to change a lot, and that's what we're seeing.
And we saw that. This is a clip I saw from the first half, things that went well. They went to a 2-3 zone, a 3-2 zone, a little bit of showed a half-court pressure here, and it just made the Sydney Kings have to... Look, this isn't a great Sydney Kings offensive set. They're trying to figure out what's going on. You've got Kendrick Davis, look, having to guard 2. They end up trying to get a late shot here from Torrey Craig. That's the only 3 that he missed. So that was something different. The other side of that is when you get a miss, Bryce Cotton, when the defense isn't set, can play one-on-one. If Bryce Cotton can play one-on-one, he's going to get going. Outside of that, if they have to keep taking the ball out of the basket, setting up, Sydney's defense is set up, and then Bryce has to essentially play 1-on-5.
Well, everything that happens over the next 20 minutes is going to decide just how interesting this game 3 is. Damon Lowry said it was going to be a sweep. He's had some shocking predictions this year, and this one's trending to be another game at 3. Look at that. It cannot wait for this one.
Oh, again, it's 20 minutes in the can. If you Adelaide 36ers, forget everything, lock in here. That was a tremendous half, but it means nothing if they can't get the job done.
They be in the locker room right now feeling good about themselves because they're in this. Remember, at last game at halftime, they were gone already.
That's right, they were down 20 at the half. They now lead by 1. What can the Sydney Kings do in the second half to take a 2-0 lead? Or Adelaide going to level the series at 1 apiece heading into Sydney?
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Welcome back to the Hungry Jacks Championship Series. I'm here with Brian Gorge, and Gorge, a very different looking Adelaide 36ers. What was the message at halftime?
Well, just the things we did well in game one, keeping them off the glass, playing the defense without fouling. 14 free throws is too many to give up, so we got to do a better job with our hands and the fouls. And I thought, other than that, it was a pretty good half.
Still winning the rebound count, but it isn't reflecting on the scoreboard. How do you change that in a second?
The offensive rebounds hurt us, and I thought they got to the foul line too much, and those are all easy baskets, and that's the difference in us being where we are right now.
All the best in the second half. Over to you, Jack.
Thank you very much, Kels. It's a 1-point lead to the Adelaide 36ers. There's the voice of Brian Gorge, and a few things concerning him as they head into the second half.
Yeah, well, he mentioned the offensive rebounds that Adelaide were getting, but I think he forgot to mention that they actually have 13 of their own, and the fact that they're doing a really good job of converting turnovers into points where they lead that category 9-2.
No, it's been an impressive, I think, first half by the Adelaide 36ers. They've had a tumultuous week. They've been able to respond. They started really well from the three-point line, went a bit quiet, then came back quite strong. 8 of 19 for threes for the Adelaide 36ers, and this guy, you know, you look at 3 from 9, he's getting nothing easy. Those 3 he made were super tough. The assist, he's got 11 points to his name, and they're going to need that and more to keep this scoreboard ticking over for him. Torrey Craig's the story of the first half of the Sydney Kings. That was just a special half of basketball by him, and the way he's been able to knock down the 3 in particular.
Sold-out crowd at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. They are going to need all of their voice and all of their energy in the second half to push the home team over the line and make it one apiece when we get to Sydney on Sunday. That's nice.
Yeah, really well executed. Out of the halftime break, they run there, get a couple of sides, get a lot of passing in, and get Galloway going.
Silovic was good in the first half. It's part of setting the tone for Adelaide. It's 2 of 6 from long range, though. That's the season a 36% shooter. Rebounds Island Cheatham.
Davis has looked really anxious. He's shooting the ball a lot, 4 of 14.
Shot clock rolls inside single figures. Cheatham happy to try his luck. Humphries gets after it. Adelaide reset. It's been a clunky start to this third quarter for the 36ers. Beautiful pass from Cotton. Humphries with a big offensive rebound. True contact scores.
They needed that bucket just to alleviate the pressure.
And the skip pass, Derek, that's the one. If you can find guys for wide open shots, there's a foul. Adelaide fans don't like it. Ball pressure. But when they're going to send the double team, if Bryce can find the open man and they can knock down threes, Sydney starts to have to reevaluate what they're doing on Bryce.
Davis with a miss. He does look rattled. That's better.
He's going to keep going, and we've seen in this postseason where he's had moments not playing his best, but he's persisted with it and eventually comes through.
Humphries pass batted down. Cook saw it coming. Defensive wares of Xavier Cooks on full show in this series.
Oh, what about the touch? Great touch by Xavier Cooks. Now, that's going to look really easy when you see it on the television. That's a tough shot that he was able to make look very easy.
Just quietly going about his business now. 10 points on 5 of 9. Has 6 rebounds to go with it. Bryce Cotton cannot get possession of the basketball. Dellavedova has turned his back on everyone else. Cheatham on the O-glass. Cooks again.
Whoa.
He put one foot in, didn't get 10 points. No, he didn't. Left foot stayed in the back corner.
Right now, I think Adelaide may have to come with a shooter. And we see Cooks get that steal, which led to a beautiful floater.
Malaloch comes in early for Matthew Dellavedova, and the assignment on Bryce that he's going to have.
It's interesting there, Drew. Dellavedova was the one that put the hand up. Humphrey swats Davis.
I don't know if that was right in front of us. And it's that was a 50-50 one that went the way of the Sydney Kings.
Always so careful with the basketball. That's Cotton's 4th turnover of the game.
It's getting rushed. It's getting rushed because of the pressure.
Galloway steps into the 3 and knocks it down. The Sydney Kings make their move to start the 3rd quarter. 62-55. You can't keep a good team down.
They capitalize on a couple of sloppy turnovers by the Sixers and the Amy replay. Davis does a good job peeling around and finding Galloway, who now has knocked down 2 threes to open this 2nd quarter. We know he can do that, and now he's starting to do it with a lot more confidence and frequency.
And they're hunting him. That first play, the second half was specifically designed to get him a look, and when he sees one going in, he becomes tougher because of that confidence that you talk about. And when you're speaking of tough, but in just a delightful body.
Yep. Oh, my goodness me. Oh, my goodness me. Took the Outlander in last week, Drury, just for a service. They gave it back straight away and said, there's nothing wrong with this vehicle. We cannot find a fault. You can win yours. The code word is road trip. Scan the QR code or jump online to enter. We are in Adelaide, the home of Mitsubishi here in Australia. A lot of the Mitsubishi crew in the house tonight. Great to see.
A real legacy sponsor and corporate partner of the NBL, Mitsubishi.
Did you ever drive a Magna, Derek?
I certainly did, Jack.
That was when...
A Verada, all of them.
back
Pajero.
When in the league, and you think of Mitsubishi and Hungry Jack's, 2 sponsors that have been there for so many years. Speaks volume for their belief in this sport, as that will talk about confidence and getting going. Flynn Cameron, he's up to 12 points now, and a perfect 3 of 3 from the 3-point line.
He had 2 points in game 1. He looks a completely different customer here in game 2. Malawatch with a hand in the face. They're on a hot streak.
Malawatch had a rough first half. He was a -12 in 6 minutes, but he comes out, catches that one in rhythm. And he's been doing that all season. Very good 3-point shooter, Jack.
They've now got this clip up to 45%. Cheatham with a fumble.
And Humphries has to attack the rim there. Go up strong, get on the glass. And the Sixers believe that ball came off of the Kings.
Cotton wanted a challenge. Cheatham wanted a challenge. And the Adelaide bench said, no, sir. The Sydney system is wearing Adelaide down again. Malawatch on the move. Doesn't get that to drop. Got after it. Here's Davis. They're cooking.
Offensive rebounding. That's number 15. And Davis takes advantage of a kick-out pass. Knocks down his second 3 of the game.
16 points to 5 so far this quarter. Adelaide find themselves in a familiar position, and that is that they need to hang tough. Cameron unloads another 3. What a performance tonight from Flynn Cameron.
He's feeling it. And they've needed every single one of his points.
15 points on 4 of 7. Sydney at the offensive end. And a rare miss by Kendrick Davis.
One hold.
Reaching in, he'll pick up his second foul.
And I would think it's about that time Will we try and change this lineup if you're the Adelaide 36ers? I think they need another perimeter shooter out there or just go the double bigs.
Jenkins sitting on the bench still. Oh, knocked down a couple of threes. Cameron walked the tightrope baseline. Cotton on the offensive glass. This way, that way, scores.
Nice move.
That was an outstanding move. Just faked him out of it, spun back to the baseline, and makes the little chip shot.
Taking his tally up to 13 points for the night. Back-to-back baskets for Adelaide, and then Kawhi draws a foul off Nick Rakocevic, who hasn't quite had the same impact.
Look at this
game
move.
Number 2.
There. Oh, he bites on it. Comes back, quick shot. That's a special move by a special player.
And Georgian just continues to throw fresh bodies out there.
Markwell's looking on. Spent a week in the spotlight, a week answering accusations of culture and disharmony in the group. Thought he handled the pre-game interview really well tonight with Kelsey.
Yes, he did.
Looking harshly judged at times. The guy won 23 games in the regular season.
Oh, goodness, ridiculous.
Cotton's pass a bit too fierce for Rakocevic. Big push here by the Kings, and Malawatch cashes in.
Again, the turnovers. It's now 10 for the Sixers. And it led to a layup by the Kings.
How quickly they turn defense into offense and find a way to get a numerical advantage. Oh, DJ Vasiljevic thought he was getting fouled, played for the foul.
Cheatham.
Sometimes you're just in the right place at the right time. Sloppy ball finds its way to Suarez.
Good job on the weak side.
Lux a fortune for Simon.
That's it.
For Tim Suarez, I should say.
Right now, we're seeing the Kings really press and impose their will upon this game, but Drew, the Sixers' defensive problems starting to appear. Kings already have scored 20, going to the line to shoot 2.
They look like right now, Adelaide, Drew, that they need a game changer. They need someone to turn this thing back their way.
And throughout the season, they had the cheat code in Bryce Cotton. But with these types of moments, he just step up and just do the remarkable. And he's done time and time again. But with the way in which Sydney is saying, no, someone else has to be that guy. We are not going to let you be that guy. And who is it going to be? A lot of 3 balls by the 36ers. They've had 26 of 48 shots have come from the 3-point line.
10-point lead for the Kings, who hold a 1-0 advantage in the championship series.
See how they're chronic overplay of the left hand. They are forcing him right every single time.
Davis has calmed the nerves and eased the anxiety levels. He's found his place in this game now. They swing to Malawatch. Extra pass for Cooks. They're flawless.
Outstanding offense by the Kings. And special credit to Kendrick Davis, who turned down the opportunity to go one-on-one against DJ and just move the basketball.
8 unanswered points for Sydney. Rakocevic misses off the tip-in.
Got to be careful.
And then Xavier Cooks gets up and tells him all about it too.
Blue 31. 2 opponents.
Rakocevic upset. I'm not sure how he thought he got his arm grabbed or where he thought he got his arm grabbed.
None at all. And just pure frustration. We see Grant Kelly just pondering the situation with his team. His team down 12. Cooks gets one to wedge and drop in.
Yeah. Give him 1,000 more goes and he can't repeat that shot that he just hit then.
I think for Xavier Cooks, free throws can be an adventure for Xavier Cooks. I think he's just happy to see them drop.
But sometimes it's a sign of just good fortune being on your side, because He throws it up there and somehow or other plonks on the back of the rim and just does nothing and rolls in.
Danger signs for Adelaide. This is a big deficit that they've allowed. Cameron's been excellent all night. That jumps out.
Xavier Cooks has played an outstanding basketball game. 14 points, 8 boards.
To me, Adelaide not putting enough heat on the rim as Xavier Cooks misses a two-hand stuff.
And Cotton left it behind. He continue to get the ball out of his hands this time. Can't score, and Malawatch is the recipient of an Adelaide knock-on. Chase down from Cotton.
What a let-off. Missed dunk and a sloppy turnover in transition.
A stagnant Adelaide offense. They trail by 14. Jenkins steps into the three.
That's what I mentioned earlier. Just his threat out there in this context can be very useful. That drags the Sixers within 11.
3 of 6 from beyond the arc tonight for John Jenkins.
If they lose this game, that last 40 seconds could prove to be pivotal for Adelaide. They had a chance to really push this out, 18 points.
Cotton for Humphries, who rolls and scores, and it's back within 9.
Can't foul here. May have gotten away with 3 of them, Jack. And then they give one to go on Torrey Craig. Wow, great fortune there for the Adelaide 36ers.
Yeah, got it.
He took on 3, Torrey Craig, and nearly won. He comes away with a foul for his troubles. Dellavedova with the leadership and the experience back out on the floor to finish off the quarter. Out there with Craig, Davis, Cooks, and Malawatch.
They've done a good job on Torrey Craig in this third period. They've reduced him to only 2 field goal attempts, and you just saw them, so they weren't high-quality attempts.
And he has not scored in this half.
Score off this possession. And all of a sudden, it's Adelaide with some momentum heading into three-quarter time. Silovic misses out off the glass. And the Kings will be happy to absorb as much time off the clock. Dellavedova has other ideas. Kings offensive rebound. They've got 17 of them for the night now.
Craig's got 4 and 9 in total.
Dellavedova, Malawatch. Delly on the offensive glass, blocked by Humphries. Desperation plays at the back end of the quarter. Cotton now with 1 on the clock. 77-68. The Sydney Kings with a big push in quarter number 3, and it's a 9-point advantage that they enjoy at three-quarter time. Game 2, Championship Series here in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
Welcome back to the Hungry Jacks NBL. The Sydney Kings put together a championship quarter out of the major break. 68 for the 36ers, plays 77 for the Kings. For Mike Wells, it was all about people crashing the boards, and offensively they want to go to their flash game. John?
Kelsey, the Sydney Kings, they had one focus coming out of half-time, and that was to keep Adelaide off the free throw line, and they were able to do that. No free throws in that quarter for Adelaide. And we should be surprised that Sydney are being dominant in this series, because the way that they have dominated everyone in the competition on this 14-game winning streak is just incredible. The numbers are amazing. And in contrast, Adelaide this calendar year are 8 wins, 9 losses. So they're up against it here. A quick word on Torrey Craig. We know it's his 100th game today or tonight. His career best is 6 of 8 threes. It came against Adelaide on the Australia Day weekend. He's got 5 here. He's never played at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre before, although he made his debut in Adelaide.
What a shot. Bryce Cotton comes out and makes it, and the Adelaide 36ers should consider themselves so fortunate to only be down 9 in that third quarter.
Yeah.
Sydney gave up a few that you'd normally expect them to make, and a chance to really put themselves in a commanding position. Now it's all of a sudden back to 6, and there's a foul. Adelaide ball.
110, rebound.
That is a super tough shot by Bryce Cotton. Off the ball, and I like it. He seems to be able to get a better look when he's coming off the staggers and off the ball screens than he is on ball screens.
He's got 16 points, but he's had to earn every single one of them. John Jenkins has arrived at the party.
Well, we called for it, Andrew. You just sensed Jenkins was feeling good about himself based on his performance in the first half, and he's starting to deliver. Ooh.
Kings reboot through Torrey Craig. They needed the support staff, Adelaide. Jenkins has been a big part of it in this game. Craig with a tough shot. Wonderful D from Humphries.
Poor offense by Sydney. Got very stagnant and just became ISO play.
Cameron in the corner. Can't score, and Cooks with another rebound in this game. That's his 9th to go with 14 points. A let off for the Kings, and Davis is awarded the whistle.
Now, this is interesting because this is a play that Bryce Cotton usually runs and doesn't get the call. Mike Wells, he almost dislocated both shoulders as he tried to give the... You did, and now they're not going to challenge it.
What's Mike Wells doing?
Well, he tried to retract. He tried to take back. So maybe someone... He was so quick to put up the review signal. Let's have a look at it.
Is that a foul, Drew?
It's a very soft one. It's a... Might have pushed him forward ever so softly, but if you're going to call that, Bryce Cotton's going to take 700 free throws a game.
The interesting thing there, and you're spot on, is that Mike Wells called for the challenge immediately to the naked eye.
Yeah.
And then it almost looked as if his bench was trying to talk him out of it.
So it looks like there is a slight clip
right there
on the left leg of Kendrick Davis.
And it's unsuccessful. Now it's a soft call. As I mentioned, a lot of other players they lose the challenge, but that's a third personal foul.
But doesn't he stick his foot back? This is the information I have. He's flipped his foot in the act of shooting. Yeah, but did he?
Mike Wells thought that Davis kicked his foot back to cause the contact, but he was wrong.
Kendrick was really smart the way he maneuvered around that screen, got towards the center of the court and elevated as he gets the first one to tumble.
I don't have that information. I've got what I've been given. They got to give you a monitor.
Right, I don't think the monitor would have helped him.
But now it's a 2-possession game, Andrew, with 8 minutes to go on the clock. You were in a really bad position late in that third quarter. You worked your way back into it. There was no need for Adelaide to panic or play with anxiety. Just continue to execute, but you got to still defend the basketball better.
Matthew Dellavedova continues to stalk Bryce Cotton everywhere that he goes. Fallen short twice at the final hurdle.
Starting to sizzle.
That's what I'm talking about. If you can start making something going right, and that help came a lot later than it has been coming. 19 points now for Bryce.
Davis finds Malawatch. Short on the three. Kendrick Davis with an offensive rebound. Humphries drags it in. And a foul on Sydney too.
Like one rebounding foul.
Derek, Kendrick Davis, as we look at the Amy replay, gets a good look. But see how that time there, Suarez, that's not how they've been guarding Bryce. He's been way higher and forcing him to make an extra pass. That's right in Bryce's sweet spot. But Kendrick Davis, 6 of 21 from the field.
And Mike Wells calls his first sub of the quarter, and it's Isaac Humphries' number who's called, Derek.
Again, that's a little bit puzzling considering the run, unless Isaac was just physically unable to go, but Jenkins decides he wants to go.
Kosovic misses an easy one off the tip-in. Davis flies to the other end. Likewise, Malawatch. Here's Dellavedova. Got it!
Huge. And a little something for the fans as well. Pointing to the fans. Don't really see that from Matthew Dellavedova.
That's where all the Adelaide Crows boys are sitting over in the corner there. Delly had some advice for them. They lead by 6, Sydney. A big moment in the game, that last three from Dellavedova. And Cameron forces one. Score here for the Kings, and then momentum will start to shift back their way. Davis v. Cotton. Delly can't hit the second time. Tired-looking Bryce Cotton marches up the floor. Misses first time around. He's not missing twice.
This is Bryce Cotton taking over a game. He's had a tough time of it, but somehow or other, he's finding the energy to put matters into his own hands.
He looks absolutely cooked, Bryce Cotton.
The work he's got to do just to get the ball. Matthew Dellavedova in the corner.
Great find there by Malawatch.
A little something for you. That's for you, boys.
Delly must be a Geelong supporter.
No, I think it's
after last night.
I think it's Collingwood.
Cooks the shoot free throws. Derek, this may seem like a silly question, but I'll ask it anyway. Dellavedova comes off the floor. Would you be tempted to give Cotton just a 30-second to 1-minute breather right now?
Jack, all caps, absolutely not. Bryce gets no rest.
Next question.
The screaming.
Yes.
I don't know why I have to yell at me. I think this is both. I need to be yelled at, I could go home. 83-79. Malawatch trying to stay in front of Cotton, who's getting busy in the fourth quarter.
Malawatch gets a piece of his shooting arm. He'll go to the line to shoot 3. Bryce Cotton, he's starting to warm. 21 points now.
Well, again, that was a time when, if you look at the double team, so that it was a soft show, and then he gets to, oh, he got a lot of ball on that one.
But I think it was before on Bryce's gather. And the suspense, Jack, has come back into the building. It was flat. It was dire in the third period. But off the back of some sharp three-point shooting here to open the fourth, the Sixers are right back in it.
One-point game. Sydney led by 14 points at the back end of quarter number 3. Adelaide showing all the fight, all the determination warranted of a championship series. Davis commanded the ball at the top of the key.
2 of 10 now from the 3, Davis. Caught in the space.
Vasiljevic run off the line. The ball back in the hands of Cotton. He gave it up. Shot clock now at 7. It'll have to be someone else. It'll have to be Rakocevic. Everyone catches their breath for a moment.
I need to figure out is what happens when Bryce can't get it. Becomes really stagnant. Sydney, you're happy to live with those types of shots from Rakocevic.
Kings happy to be meticulous in their offense.
Got to get it up.
Wind the clock down, but they've lost complete awareness of the shot clock here.
That's surprising for a team so savvy and always aware. And Brian Goorjian very displeased with that final possession, and he will call a timeout.
The drama builds at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. A 1-point game. So now it's the Kings who look a little rattled.
Well, Adelaide have increased their defensive intensity. They've held Sydney to 6 points in the first half of this final stanza. And off the back of Bryce Cotton showing MVP level play, they're right back in this one.
Yeah, it's been that man Bryce Cotton who stepped up in this last quarter. Sets the tone. They knock down some threes and the game just changes. 36 three-point field goal attempts already in this one for the Adelaide 36. They've taken 67 shots. So more than half are coming from the three-point line. A lot of it, that's because they're forced into those types of shots. But trying to find that balance is going to be critical in the last 4 minutes and 44 seconds.
'83-82, Game 2 of the Championship Series on Sunday. We head to Kudos Bank Arena for Game 3. Torrey Craig doing everything that he can to give the Sydney Kings a 2-0 advantage in the series. 20 points, 17 I should say, 5 made threes for the night. He's looked so calm and so composed, but that last possession was a rare mistake from the Kings.
Adelaide only averaged 27 three-point field goal attempts per game in the bottom half. They've already had 36.
A lot of late whistles in this game, Andrew.
Rakocevic will shoot free throws. Kelsey Brown had her ear to the timeouts.
On the offensive end, it was all about keeping it simple, but I want to talk about the guy going to the line at the moment, Nick Rakocevic. He was so fired up. I know the Adelaide 36ers love the energy he brings, but he's on 4 fouls at the moment. He has to keep it in check. He was irate in that timeout.
It's been an interesting battle with Rakocevic and Cooks a couple of times in this game. And then he misses the first, and Cooks says, I told you. He connects on the second. Dead level. We start again at 83 apiece.
Tremendous fight back by the Sixers, showing a lot of pride. Now they've got to sharpen up on the defensive end.
Davis found a little bit of space. He can't score. Xavier Cooks has been incredible.
Just fundamentals not there. No box out. So conscious of what they're doing on Davis. They think about collecting the ball.
Double-double tonight for Cooks, and it comes at an important time. Cheatham looked a little hesitant. Shot clock at 5. It's clunky again by Adelaide.
Oh. Cheatham fumbles that ball, and it just disrupted the flow of the possession. And then he commits the offensive foul, trying to get into a dribble handoff scenario with Vasiljevic.
Three minutes and 45 seconds remaining. Nothing between these two teams. Davis with the mismatch that he's after. Kosovic gets the ball out of his hands, and then Dellavedova's foot rattles out, but he got it back again.
Cheatham back-to-back possession with miscues with his hands.
Wow, what a penalty. Two crucial breakdowns on the boards by the Adelaide 36ers have cost them dearly.
Dellavedova and Cooks.
Yeah. Cooks just knows how to make winning plays. Great nose for the basketball.
And scored off their last two possessions, Sydney, which has just taken a little wind out of the Adelaide sails. Cameron. No good.
Good chance right there, wide open on the kick out.
All eyes on Kendrick Davis, who's the leading scorer for Sydney tonight. It's winning time, and he can't score.
I'd love to see them get to that pick and roll with Cooks.
They can't find an avenue to the basket.
Wow.
Huge block by Torrey Craig.
Incredible individual defense.
Both teams have just resorted to one-on-one ISO plays. Very little movement. The offense is super stagnant. I think part of the reason is fatigue's really kicking in.
A minute's been wiped off the clock. No change to the score.
Oh, that was game over. If that had gone up, felt.
Mike Wells imploring his team to push the basketball.
An absorbing battle in game two. Flynn Cameron lays it up. Timeout, Sydney. 2-point game, 1:37 remaining.
Clutch drive there by Flynn Cameron, who's been outstanding.
Well, his best game in a long time, Derek. And the number, only 38%, but the timing of it started well. Come up with some big plays like that one. 17 points for him. 5 boards to go along with that 17.
87-85. Bryce Cotton has 24 points. Kendrick Davis has 20.
Well, he's got the 20, though, on 6 of 24 shooting.
Here's what can happen if you reach out, get in touch. Some of the youngsters here in South Australia had Bryce Cotton, had Zylan Cheatham visit their school. And one day these kids would love to be able to do it like he does.
No doubt. Get to spend some time with one of the all-time greats in Bryce Cotton, and a super athlete and terrific guy in Zylan Cheatham.
Big shout out to Kmart for their work as part of the Game Time program.
Now, look at that timeout by Brian Gordon. Yes, it's a crucial play, 1:37 to go, and you're looking for a bucket. But I reckon a big chunk of it was because also he could see the fatigue in his guys, and just to give him a quick rest as well as some strategy on what he wants on this offensive possession. And he's got some decisions to make. 6 of 24 for Davis. I suspect the priority here on the offensive end is Torrey Craig, who has been scoreless in the second half.
Davis, Craig, Dellavedova, Cook, Suarez out there for Sydney. Cameron, Cotton, Rakocevic, Vasiljevic, and Cheatham. Dellavedova left it short.
Oh, short.
Oh, wow.
Davis reaching in. He's whistled for his 4.
That's 2 free throws.
Uh-oh, now they've got words.
Cotton and Davis go at it.
It was only a matter of time, Jack. And that will also be Davis's 4th personal foul.
We're good.
MVP and runner-up the last 2 years. They say there's love. They say there's respect. But right now, that means nothing.
That's right. I'm sure there is love and respect, but not in this particular moment. Crucial game for the Adelaide 36ers. And a poor decision by Davis to swipe at the ball and expose himself to send Cotton to the line for a couple of freebies.
A perfect 8 of 8 from the line tonight. He makes that 9 of 9. Scores level again. 1 minute and 10 seconds left. Championship basketball at its very best. Davis for Crooks.
They wanted that foul. They had a foul to give.
Smart play there.
Now he's going to be a kick-out three.
It's that loud in here right now, you could barely hear that whistle.
Xavier Cooks is 2 of 6 from the free throw line, so when it's tied up, I don't think you're going to intentionally foul, but if he's going to the bucket, then you want to make sure that you're fouling.
Less than a minute remaining. Huge possession here for the Kings. Suarez explores and scores!
Oh, that's what happens when you can shoot the three. Now, he'd missed one, but it forced a really long closeout and opened up the drive to the bucket.
Adelaide's turn at the offensive end. Cotton and Cheatham in the two-man game. Cheatham hesitates. Back up to Cotton. Cheatham gave it off again. This time, Rakocevic from underneath.
Outstanding patience there by Cotton and Cheatham to get that ball eventually to Rakocevic.
10,000 fans stand as one inside the Adelaide Entertainment Centre.
5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock.
Davis is the villain. Gets to the basket, misses out. Rakocevic tips it to Cotton for the win. Cotton scores! Unbelievable!
Did he get it off, Jack? I think he did.
I believe he did. A big play there by Bryce Cotton. He goes coast to coast. Kendrick Davis.
And now it starts to get really serious between Kendrick Davis and Bryce Cotton.
Wow.
Wow.
Right in front of us.
That escalated quick. And Derek, you don't have to oversell this one. That was meaningful and real.
What a tremendous moment here at the Adelaide Entertainment Center.
Well, this is going to be an interesting thing. Decide to shake hands.
Well, I don't think there's any need.
Was it no bucket?
No bucket. Wow.
No bucket.
Points count.
Points count.
Points count.
Wow.
Unbelievable finish to the game.
Wow. What a finish.
You couldn't script a finish like that.
Kendrick Davis, they just need to
settle him down.
Has stepped in.
Keep your eyes on this one all the way to the end. Bryce Cotton and Kendrick Davis with an exchange that will be replayed over and over between now and Sunday.
What a moment in this championship series. The Sydney Kings have an opportunity to get a bucket, a go-ahead bucket. They miss. Cotton on a breakout, uses tremendous pace, gets that ball on the bucket. Andrew, take us through it.
Was Davis, they go to him. He was 6 of 24, tough shot. They can't contest on the boards. Bryce, really smart heads-up play. Out of his hands with 0.3 to go. And
0.2 of a second left.
Beautiful judgment by the 6-time MVP. And he knew that Craig was coming and he took off from a little further out to protect the ball.
We saw a similar play earlier in the game where Torrey Craig chased him down and was able to block the shot. We see Cotton and a lot of emotion here as Davis just loses all composure.
Well, Davis, he poked the bear early on, and We were saying this early, that it's probably not in Sydney's best interest in this environment to do that. And they found a way to get the win.
Well, the bear was poked, and he won the game for Adelaide, and he's with John Casey.
Thanks, Jack. Footlocker player of the game, Bryce Cotton. Can you tell us that last play? What was going through your mind?
I mean, I just wanted us to get the rebound. I seen we had 3 seconds, which is more time than I thought, and I tried to put my 40-yard dash to the test.
Have you had a more enjoyable finish to a game in your career?
I don't know. It's tough to say right now, but we knew we wanted to come back and play like the team we know how and try to get a win on our home court, and we did that. So now it's got to be short memory, just like the last game, and prepare for Sunday.
What were you thinking at three-quarter time? Because you put the team on your back in the fourth quarter there. You scored 15 points in that last quarter and really single-handedly have kept the championship hopes alive.
Just wanting to win, you know. I've been playing this game since I was a little kid. I'll never let any ups and downs take my joy. I love my teammates, and they played a hell of a game tonight.
And just one final one, that there was a bit of a skirmish there with KD at the end. Did he say something? Can you tell us anything?
It's playoff basketball.
All right, man, good luck in game 3.
Thank
you, man. It most certainly is. 28 points for Bryce Cotton. Hits the game-winning score with 0.2 remaining. Here it is again.
And just tremendous pace. You saw him look up at the clock 1, 2, 3 times, and then he elevates and decides with tremendous timing how he wants to finish. And look at this place erupt.
He said I'm not sure what provoked Kendrick Davis. The disappointment I could understand, but just don't know what motivated that type of performance. This is a best of 5, and now it's down to a best of 3.
And Jack, we knew that the margin of victory did not mean a thing coming into game 2. I tried to emphasize that during the week. That does not matter to professionals, especially with almost a week between the games.
Yeah, and they go back and review it. Kendrick, he took 25 field goal attempts and only made 6 of them. So he wasn't on a heater, and I'm really surprised in that second half that when he's in that frame, they didn't have a look at some other options.
Adelaide are partying inside the entertainment centre because this series, Kelsey Brown, is alive and well.
Absolutely, it's alive and well. A win in game 2, Flynn. How does that one feel?
It feels great, you know, forcing a game 4 back at our home. You know, we're happy to come back home, play in front of our crowd. I can barely hear you just listening to this atmosphere right now, so it's crazy. I'm enjoying it.
It's been such a big week for you guys. So much talked about what's happening inside the 4 walls, but to come out and put a performance like that out, you must have a lot of belief in this team.
Yeah, we got our whole group. Our whole group believes in each other. BC's got absolute trust and belief in all of us, and it just shows through and through. You know, we go put a performance like that out there on the court, so yeah, it's great.
Are you almost thriving off what's coming on the outside at the moment? It feels like everyone's up against you, but this crowd here tonight, there's something else.
I mean, you said it, you know, we've been blocking out all the noise all week. You know, all it is talk. You know, once you put the ball, once everyone steps onto the court, you know, the basketball does all the talking. So yeah, but we're glad we got this home crowd behind us and we're ready for game 3.
A massive game for you. All the best. Enjoy this one and good luck in Sydney.
Thank you.
We head to Sydney on Sunday with the series tied away at 1 apiece. Adelaide win it 91-89. Here it is, one more time for the great ones. Time stands still.
cometh the moment, cometh the man. The Adelaide 36ers, written off by everyone. They go down by a historic number in game one, and they bounce back tonight in front of a heavy and hostile, sold-out Adelaide Entertainment Centre. And Bryce Cotton at the death. Wow. Kendrick Davis in the face of his arch enemy. Tensions overflowing. It doesn't get better than this. We're heading into Sydney with energy in the air.
Well,
we have so much to break down from this.
That was the first time we had seen that. What was Kendrick Davis thinking?
Well, he's obviously lost his mind because you got to remember where you are. Bryce Cotton just hit a game winner. Just calm down and take your time. Come back to Sydney and get the job done.
And let's watch this over again because this was unbelievable. What a finish. Bryce Cotton, a big play by Cheatham down the other end. Bryce gets into it, and then as you say, we said he's going to be emotional, Kendrick Davis. We certainly didn't think it was going to overflow like this post-bucket.
It happened a little bit earlier with the flop call, right? Because he said he got in Bryce Cotton's face, said stop flopping. He had a tough game, Kendrick Davis. But then to sprint up into his face, and he's clearly saying, we'll see you in game 3 right here. Game 3.
Derek's in the back getting after it as always.
Damn, I tell you what, that bromance is over.
Yes, brother.
That bromance is gone.
Let me tell you something.
I'll tell you when that stuff broke up, as soon as Big Kelly Lefebvre got in the way. And they all said we're done. But look at the emotion on the face of Mike Wells, a guy that was written off. They've leaked stuff about him. He has been called the worst coach of the year all year long. And the emotion overflowing. They said he doesn't have any adjustments. Look at him tonight, leaving here a victor.
There were plenty of people that written him off. After losing by 44 points, what do you expect? But they came in and showed some heart. The fans were behind him. And you know what? He had a lot of support off the bench and guys that didn't play well in the first game.
You can break it down to the wrinkles and everything we saw differently, but to be honest, the fact they weathered multiple storms from the Sydney Kings was so impressive. Because Sydney got out by double digits. It looked like
16 points.
They got at multiple times. They kept putting the foot down, and Adelaide didn't go anywhere. So credit to them. Now the tough task is to back it up. But right now, you should be feeling very good about yourself.
And we've got a couple of days to break it down, what's going to happen in Game 3. But let's just take a moment to give Bryce his flowers. We do it a lot. But during the week, they said that Sydney had the trio that would be able to stop him. We said that he had to rise to the moment. And what did he do tonight? 28 points, big buckets when they needed him. He rose to the moment. Legacy-defining stuff.
You were the one that said he wasn't going to play well, but he played great.
I was the one that said he was going to rise.
And to be fair, I said earlier today, greatness always finds a way. That's what they do.
Well, I'll tell you what
Bryce Cotton does.
I don't know what's going to top that. What Game 3 has in store, but I'll tell you what. We are running out of gas right now.
We're back here.
Sunday, and we are definitely coming back here. What a venue this is. But, boys, Game 3, what are your early calls?
Oh, early call. It's going to be tough. I think Sydney will bounce back, but it's anyone's game now.
Tough game. Sydney by 2.
Oh, we'll be back.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Yeah.
1-1.
Yeah,
1-1.
1, 2, 3, 4,